Brian says, thank you guys for hosting the show. It has really helped me properly allocate my income to the proper places over the past couple of years. I have $200,000 invested. Half of that is in an IRA in the ETFs you talk about, 15% is in Bitcoin, and the rest is in Robinhood, mostly in VOO, but I do have some single stocks. I also have a condo that's worth about $420,000. I'm 35 years old, and I was laid off a couple months ago. I was working in the tech industry with income around $150,000. Now, since being laid off, I've been looking into alternative income streams. What are your thoughts on me getting into a franchise opportunity that has a $75,000 upfront cost and could potentially break even after a year? I'm still trying to get back into a W-2 job, but I could maybe even use this as a side hustle. To fund it, would I be using a personal loan? Should I use my stocks? Do I do an SBA loan? What do you guys think about this situation? If it helps at all, I'm in the Seattle area. This is a good question by Brian. Robert, you want to kick this one off?
Yeah, I love this question and where Brian's head is at on this. Franchises, be careful. For any of you considering it, I love franchises. I've made millions of dollars in franchising through pizza, but they're not all built the same. So just be careful. Make sure you do really, really good due diligence to figure out if the specific franchise you're looking at is a good fit. What is the success rate of their franchisees? What is their closure rate of new stores and how long? You really want to dig deep because the person that's going to try and sell you that franchise, they're going to make it all rainbows and unicorns, and it's not always going to be the case. Even in pizza, I had a situation where I think we had up to 7 stores, and the stores that I was involved with were very, very profitable. But then I had other partners that were involved in different stores that weren't profitable at all, and they ended up losing money. So make sure you do the due diligence. How to pay for it. I love that idea of using some of your money. I just wouldn't put up too much money because you're right. An SBA loan could be a really good fit for you if you qualify and can use it for this franchise. And then I would say the last caveat of you asking Austin and I this question in the Rich Habits podcast is that one of my dearest friends is a franchise analyst. You don't pay him a dime. He talks you through all of the paperwork, everything, and works with you through every step of the way. So I can link you up with him if you email me at the Rich Habits email that'll be linked in the show notes. But I love this idea because franchising can be not fully passive, but can be a great way to add additional income streams without having to buy a job, especially if you're buying a franchise that isn't super labor heavy like a pizza store. So love the question. I think you're on the right track. Let me help you out and I'll make that introduction for you.
I think it's a good question too. If I were in his shoes though, I don't know if I would want to do this complete 180 essentially with my career so fast. I feel like you might be a little discouraged right now with the job market. You were laid off a couple months ago. You were working in tech. You're making great money in Seattle. And now you're over here like, man, maybe I haven't been able to find a job the last couple months. Like, what's a different way that I can make money in this world? And maybe that's why you're thinking about the franchising. Franchising's great. But I think about franchising more as an encore career or a supplemental income type career versus like what I want to do with my life on day one. I think if you can go, I mean, listen, go shake some bushes, go shake some, trees, whatever you can do here to go find that next opportunity paying you $100, $120, $150, $180,000 a year. And then, I mean, you have this great base, right? You've got a condo worth $400,000, you've got $200,000 invested. Like, you're doing a really good job. In my opinion, I think you should go find a job that's going to allow you to make 6 figures or more, just like you were doing, because you're absolutely capable of it. I would then continue to invest, continue to build up my wealth in these investments, my real estate, the Bitcoin, the, ETFs, things like that. And then let's say fast forward 2, 3, 4 years in the future, you're like, listen, I'm ready to go do this franchise. Maybe it's a crumble cookie or ice cream or a pizza, or maybe it's a whatever else exists out there that you're excited about here. And I've got the opportunity now to afford it. I might not have to go into this high interest debt with an SBA loan, like whatever's out there. That to me sounds like the plan. I have a weird feeling that you're just a little discouraged right now with the job market and you're trying to look at other ways to make money and you want to go into $75,000 of debt. And something else that threw me off here, you said could potentially break even in about a year. I don't know. That doesn't look fun to me. I mean, sure, if you can afford to not pay yourself and you can afford to not be breaking even for a whole year's time, but as someone who's unemployed, I would argue you can't right now. Again, I think this is a great idea, but it's not where you are right now in this season of your life. I think that you should go find that job that pays 120, 150, 180, 200,000. I don't know. Maybe you're just absolutely capable of making so much money in this world in Seattle, and go do that for a couple years. And then as this sort of excitement of owning a franchise festers up inside of you, that's when you go pull the trigger and you go jump into the franchise world.
And I want to click back at something you said, Austin, that is very, very important that I forgot to mention. Many, many people that I've come across over the last 20 years of being involved in franchising is exactly what you said. They do it as an encore career. They were a retired fireman, a school teacher, something else. They want to create this additional income stream into retirement. And what happens is a lot of them go backwards financially. They put up the $150,000, they get the SBA loan, they open it up, it doesn't work out. They're spending 50, 60 hours a week there trying to fix the problems. They've never run their own business before. And then all of a sudden, all of that nest egg starts to get eaten up because they don't want to just close the doors and give up. So they're pulling money from their retirement to keep it afloat. So make sure everyone watching understands that. Franchising can be fantastic, but you have to be very selective in which type of franchise and what market you go in.